It's 60 years since Tunisia granted women some of the most far-reaching rights in the Arab world. Where is the country now? 2 years on from the Arab Spring and on today, of all days, International Women's Day. In the mid-50s, Tunisia abolished polygamy, scrapped repudiation and allowed abortion and divorce. But since the arrival of the Islamist party Ennahda as the major force in the country's constituent assembly, there are fears that these major advances may be reversed. That's a charge denied by one of the group's 42 female assembly members. During the electoral campaign, they all said it. If Ennahda wins, it will allow polygamy, that women will have to stay at home. But look, since we've come to power, none of that has happened. There's another ring of the doorbell at the offices of lawyer Boshra Belhaj Hamida. Since the elections in October 2011, she says she's seen a new form of violence against women emerge. Several women have been subjected to verbal and physical assault by police. It's always the same kind of women, modern women, financially independent women. I've just taken on a really dramatic case. A father forced his little girl to wear the veil, at 7 years old. She wore it and then he raped her. She suffered all types of violence that could be inflicted upon a girl. Ultra-conservative Islamists in Tunisia want to reshape the country's society in what they see as the traditional image of Islam. Women's rights groups are fighting against such a change. The Constituent Assembly is currently drafting a new constitution that they believe will turn the clock back on their freedoms. To give custody of children only to men is discrimination. Inequality in inheritance law is discrimination too. The fact there are some government memos talking about restricting the freedom to choose our husbands. Well, to plug these holes and address these problems, we're demanding that our equality before the law is enshrined in any future constitution. The Jasmine Revolution did, however, ease restrictions on free speech, as one satirical artist explains. Nadia Hiari's comic creation Willis the Cat is causing a stir in Tunisia. The popularity of her satirical cartoons, which lampoon the country's political class, saw her win the Cartooning for Peace Prize last year. It was the day before Ben Ali stood down. He had given his speech when he said he understood our anger. He promised us freedom of expression, to scrap censorship of the internet and newspapers. So I took him for his word and I started to draw. It was just for my friends initially. Then I created a Facebook page, and by the end of the week so many people had shared my work, so I continued to draw these cartoons. My goal is not to provoke all the time. We're all in the same boat, so you have to show what's not going well. We have an expression here in Tunisia that says when there's a lot of sadness, we laugh. It's like hysterical laughter during a funeral. I use humour, and sometimes black humour, perhaps sometimes a little aggressively. But humour is always a guiding hand towards dialogue, because when we make someone smile, we break down barriers and can discuss things better. Nadia says the biggest shock for her in a post-revolution Tunisia was the death of a top opposition leader last month, who fought against the previous regime. I did this sketch when Chokri Belaid was assassinated. A political assassination is no small matter, it's atrocious. And so there I had no desire to laugh. I didn't draw a funny cartoon. It was a wake-up call for a lot of people. We've come to a point where people are dying. Tunisia has been left with a provisional government since elections in October 2011. It was initially tasked with drafting a new constitution. We're on the verge of self-denial or self-persuasion that it's temporary, that it will pass. When I voted for the drafting of a constitution, not for a president, not for ministers. I didn't vote for cabinet reshuffles. I didn't vote for this. I voted for a constitution so that we can finally have democracy. It's been 16 months that we are waiting, and I don't understand this upheaval. Top positions are handed out in a partisan way. I just don't get it. I just scribble, I express myself how I can. It's drawing. I'm a citizen who gives her satirical views through my drawings.
Donne son avis de manière satirique par le biais du dessin.